BMNR stock to 420, guys. Guys, welcome to the channel. My name is TJ. I am a Bitmine investor, okay, since August 2025. I'm very interested in what Tom Lee is doing over at the company. So I decided to put some money in. So I ended up setting up an E-Trade account, buying some shares. So I'm long BMNR, and I just couldn't help talking about the company. Okay, I'm also invested in another crypto treasury company called Strategy, ticker symbol MSTR. But I just decided I think it's time to just simply produce content and make videos about BMNR as well, guys, because it's very similar to what Saylor and Fong Lee are doing over at Strategy, and I'm really interested in following this company because I think this stock is about to really fly because Ethereum is about to have its 2017 moment. So we're going to quickly talk about it, guys, on this channel. The videos, we're going to keep them concise and to the point. We're not going to drag them on too much. So if you guys like this content, please be sure to smash the subscribe button. Please subscribe to the channel. It really helps. I noticed in some of my other channels, maybe like 80 to 90% of you guys listening to this are not subscribed. So be sure to subscribe to this channel if you enjoy this content, guys. And give this video a like as well. Let me know what type of format you like on this channel, guys. Obviously, I've had some success with some of the other channels doing just basically concise 10-minute, 5 to 10-minute videos. We'd probably try that here as well. But let me know if you guys give a thumb up if you like this format. It's really interesting what is going on over at Bitmine, guys. So I'm gonna check this site out. I'm gonna show you guys this website. Awesome site. It's 100% free. It's called BMNR .rocks. So this is kind of like, if you guys know me over at MSTR Investor, you guys probably know that they have several trackers for strategy shareholders, like a strategy tracker, right? Saylor tracker. Okay, the statistics over at the strategy website. Several other tools that you can use. So this is the best tool I found for BMNR. So you guys can check this out if you guys want on your own. And so we're going to use this data to kind of go over my thesis on why I think the stock's basically going to 10x from here. I say a 10x because a couple of things that I've been researching. Number one, I really believe the NNAV. Okay, you take a look here, the MNAV over here, right, is at like 1.15. Okay, I expect these MNAVs to expand on the crypto companies as people kind of reevaluate how they value these companies based on the updated FASB accounting rules and the fact that Bitmine has more Ethereum than any other corporation on planet Earth. So the same thing, it feels like a similar vibe, right? Right when Strategy, formerly known as MicroStrategy, when Michael Saylor, the former CEO, okay, to give you guys a thing on Saylor real quick, this guy basically ran his company on Wall Street for like 30 years, something like that, and wasn't making much money. Got rich during the dot-com boom, during like 1999, 2000, 2001, around that era, and then went broke again, basically. And the stock didn't do anything for 20 years. Bought Bitcoin, and then now the company's like worth over 100 billion. So we're kind of hoping to replicate the success with Ethereum because Ethereum has a lot of interesting things about it that I wasn't really aware of. But as I've been doing more and more research on Bitmine, I started to understand that there's a big opportunity here that a lot of people are overlooking. So quickly, we've got characters out here that are heavily invested in Bitmine, such as Kathy Lee. Okay, Kathy Lee, I believe, of ARK Invest, right? She's heavily invested in Bitmine. Of course, Tom Lee himself. Right, there's a lot of people that are bullish on Ethereum. So we're going to talk about why I think the stock price is going to 420 specifically, and it's really simple. If you're going to kind of go back, you can guys take a look at this chart, and we can see what I'm talking about here. So we kind of look at Bitmine stock, right, over the last. Let's go back and revert to set this view. So so if we kind of look back over year to date, right, let's reset. So year to date, Bitmine has been, it popped, right? So it soared in value back in early July. That's when the company announced that they were adding Okay, so they made their first Ethereum purchase on July 14. So they've been a Ethereum treasury company now for about it looks like about 6 weeks, something like that, 6 to 7 weeks. Okay, 6 to 7 weeks, right? They've accumulated more than any other company. The Ethereum is they have just over 1.8 million Ethereum. Okay, according to BMNR rocks, they're projected to have they're pushing towards like 6 million Ethereum. Okay, there's this like thing with the alchemy of 5%. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in this video before I wrap it up. But basically, they're just going to basically accumulate a good chunk of the Ethereum because there's several reasons why people are bullish on Ethereum. Mainly Wall Street adoption. Okay, mainly the fact that Ethereum has a fixed supply and actually the inflation is lower than Bitcoin at the moment. So, there's just a lot of positive catalysts, I believe. Back in 2017, when Bitcoin, let me pull this up, when Bitcoin, Bitcoin had a massive run up in 2017, right? So it just feels like we could see something similar in Ethereum. Now, obviously, it's not guaranteed and this is not financial advice, but I just think Ethereum's poised for a breakout, if Wall Street is going to be building, if Wall Street's going to be building on, building and tokenizing assets, specifically securities, then they're going to need some blockchain technology, and it looks like that technology is Ethereum. So that's like my real just main bull case for what's going on here. There's a really good presentation that Tom Lee released as well as chairman of Bitmine. You guys can check that out. Talks a little bit more about that, about how Wall Street is moving. It's innovating, right? So it's innovating, it's innovating the ecosystem and innovating the way that we can have our relationship with real world assets. So yes, the best way to explain it is real world assets becoming synthetic, right? Tokenized. So this means that you'll be able to, for example, if you have Tesla stock in like Robinhood, right? Instead of just having your Tesla stock in Robinhood, if you could tokenize those Tesla shares, then you could actually store them in your own crypto wallet, and then you could take your shares with you, right? You don't have to keep them in a third party. So this technology is really, really innovative, and it's going to really not only probably in securities, but maybe real estate, maybe antiques, right? All different types of any type of asset, automobiles, right? You'll be able to like really take ownership of your asset instead of have it with a third party. So that's why I'm so bullish on Ethereum. Wall Street is building on it, right? So if you take a look here in 2025, real world becoming digital, everybody knows that Bitcoin's the best savings account, but how are you going to build this security? How am I going to take my Tesla stock or my Nvidia stock or my Meta stock or my strategy stock or my BMNR stock or whatever stock that I have? How am I going to take that with me? And that's going to be done on Ethereum. So that's kind of my bullish breakout. BMNR has the chance to even eclipse 420 now, simply because Ethereum, I believe Ethereum could do a 3x here. So I believe that Ethereum's going to 3x, right? So now we know that BMNR trades at a multiple, right? Trades at a multiple towards its net asset value. But I believe that multiple is going to expand, right? And the main reason is simply because they're number one treasury company and the number one just behind strategy. So, where's the capital going to flow? A lot of people don't want to hold Ethereum, right? They want to invest in a company that owns Ethereum. And then there's also some benefits as well as holding BMNR stock, okay? Obviously, you can sell covered calls, right? People sleep a little bit better at night. They're not worried about their crypto account being hacked. There's many benefits to holding BMNR stock that people don't just think about the actual making money. So, we already had a massive breakout to 100 and $160. Back then the company had way less Ethereum. So back in July 25, how much Ethereum did they have? Back they didn't have as much. Okay, they had about 566,000 Ethereum when it broke out last time. Now they have almost 2 million. So that capital that's going to flow into Ethereum, it's going to flow into BMNR. So my price target is at 10x. I really believe that multiple will expand to around 3, probably towards the peak of the Ethereum cycle. And I think it's really important for people to understand that Ethereum can actually peak a little bit further than November. Okay, so Ethereum historically does really well during the first months of the year, like January and February. So since we had such a long bear market, okay, the last cycle for crypto, the bear market was like the longest we've ever had. So it's highly possible that Ethereum does well. See, Ethereum's quarterly returns are on average the strongest in Q1. So Ethereum's only really been red 3 Q1s out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's only been red 33% of the time. So if we get another green quarter in Q1, we already know that a lot of people are expecting green in Q4. BMNR could run a lot further, and it could do a 10x. So I believe that the net asset multiple, right, will expand. This number here, I believe the MNAV will expand, and then because right now it's low, okay, but when prices get up, people become euphoric. So as Ethereum's price starts spiking, I believe BMNR is going to start running up. Okay, so just moving up aggressively. Just the hype, all the hype, all of the excitement that people have when. So we move up. Okay, we move up after a couple of catalysts. Number one, the Fed interest rate cut. The Fed interest rate cut decision comes on September 17th, right? 97% chance, according to Fed Watch, that Jerome Powell will cut interest rates. Good, fine, nice. That's bullish for crypto. Ethereum, Bitcoin, all start moving up. The crypto market cap starts increasing, right? Cheaper money to borrow. People start borrowing more money. Everything benefits. Risk on assets start becoming attractive when yields come down. Bam. BMNR starts soaring. Then, okay, Ethereum breaks out, right? So it's $300, $400. And Ethereum starts breaking out, right? In like late January, okay? Even it continues on, right? Bitcoin will probably settle down. Then we keep moving on up, right? Then, okay, my price ceiling, okay, 420. Why 420? Because that's a 10x from here, because a 3x multiple and then about a 3 to 3.5 estimate Ethereum gains, and then multiply that times 3, so we're looking at about a 10x. Okay, after that, right, moving on into 2026, that's when things will get interesting. Okay, that's when there'll be profit taking, most likely, right? People will start getting out February. All right. Yeah. We settle down here, but remember, there's previous resistance here at like 135, 150. So once we gap up past that, that previous resistance becomes support. So you can still probably, if you just do nothing, if you don't sell at the peak. Now, this is not financial advice, but I'm just saying, if you don't sell at the peak, you'll probably can still like 2 or 3 extra money, because Ethereum is still going to be up in price because the demand is there. Okay, Wall Street wants to build on it. That's the demand. So they're not as big as MicroStrategy, but when it comes to Ethereum, they're the best. So that's why I'm bullish on them. That's why I think this stock could 10x from here. This is not financial advice. I'm going to be basically holding BMR shares and buying call options. So the way I trade call options, simply I use Unusual Whales, amazing tool. So all I do is I just type in the ticker, and then I go over here to the highest open interest contracts, basically. So those are the ones that most people are own right now. And I want to like look at that data and see that, which contracts have the highest open interest. There are some really long dated contracts here that are extremely bullish on Ethereum over the long run. So that's definitely good for BMI as well. But they also have some a little bit cheaper contracts. Let's see here. They have a really nice high volume contract here. Looks like here, $45 call expiring 10/17. That's interesting. So I guess that's gonna like profit from the Fed rate cut and Ethereum bull run. That's interesting. That sounds like a decent play. So you guys can check out this. There's some other contracts here as well, some long dated ones. Here's a nice one, 160 days from now, $60 call, expiring on February 20th, $60 for BMNR. Very nice. So there you go. That's why I'm bullish. You know, there's a lot of bullish long-term calls here. It's the majority of the options contracts. Okay. Everything's bullish. Look at the call volume. Call volume, 128,000. Put volume, 45,000. You know, all the options data is pointing towards strong bullish, you know, momentum coming in through options flow as well. You know, it just seems like, man, it really seems like BMNR is getting ready to fly. I just really think, you know, I think it's ready to go, man. It's ready to pop. You know, the all of the signs are ready to point go. So that's it. That's kind of my thesis. Yeah. As long as the call, here we go. You take a look at the call volumes. Okay, that's it, guys. So thank you guys for watching my video. Please share, subscribe to the video. Let me know what you guys think, and be sure to give it a thumbs up as well. What do you guys think? How high is BMNR going to go this cycle? It'll be interesting what you guys got to think. Okay, take care.